I think a lot of people keep on hearing this word blue light, but never really understand what it is, right? When we look at a computer, we rarely feel like that's a replacement of the sun. We think it's different. We are so used to it nowadays. So sounds like blue light from all this electronic device coming out can be as strong as daytime sunshine.
Yeah, definitely. And we conducted some research with a Dr. Shelby, who's at Bristol University in the UK, and it said that actually being in, let's say you're on a beach, a sunny beach, no clouds, but 5 minutes being outside on a beach is the equivalent of 20 hours of kind of screen time exposure. So, when you're out on the beach, if you imagine being there for 5 minutes with no sunglasses, the amount of sun, you can't even keep your eyes open.
Right.
So that equivalent of UV and blue light is the equivalent to 20 hours in front of a screen. Now, we spend on average, 8 to 10 hours a day on screens. So it only takes you 2 days to get that amount, of exposure. And then if you imagine in a year, 2 years, 5, 10, that impact is cumulative and it builds up. So that is a really important factor.
Right. Wow. I did not realize this kind of equivalent. And then how this blue light, if we keep on using all this electronic device all around us, I just look at my home, I have tons of stuff, right? So at night, if we keep on getting exposed to it, not up to 20 hours, but several hours possibly, then how is that going to impact our sleep?
So what happens is when the sun sets, usually in whichever country you are in, your body starts producing melatonin, or it should produce melatonin. And the melatonin tells your body, hey, it's time you start thinking about going to bed. And as the hours get, closer towards midnight, your melatonin concentration is increased and increased and increased. And it gets to a point where it's enough and you feel tired and you need to get to sleep, right? But what happens is if you're using a bright device screen when sun sets all the way until, let's say, midnight, the body thinks it's still the daytime. So it's not going to naturally produce melatonin, which is the hormone your body needs to fall asleep. Therefore, you're going to find you might go into bed, but you'll be tossing and turning. You'll be trying to go to bed, but your body isn't ready to fall asleep. And then if you do eventually get to sleep, in 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, your sleep latency, your quality of sleep is also going to be reduced because the hormonal factors within the body, the process still hasn't, it hasn't worked fully. The melatonin concentration is not going to be high enough. So actually on an intrinsic level inside your body, there's also processes which have been delayed, and therefore you're not, your body's not being rejuvenated, because we know when we sleep, the body goes through so many things, which gets rid of toxicity in the brain. So it means you can, put memories into where they need to go. So all these elements are so important and they all get affected.
Oh, wow. So definitely through the light, the eyes impact a lot of what's happening inside our body. So we are not that ready to get to sleep easily.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Then how about those screen like night mode? I think from years ago, right? Possibly even before your products was launched, like getting popular nowadays. A lot of cell phone, iPad, they seem like have a easy turn on of the night mode. And I got a lot of questions clinically from patients, like, will this help me to block the blue lights? Does that work?
Yeah, so I was also a customer of software. Similar to you, I've been using it for a long time, and the software is great. If you want to limit blue light exposure, use the software, right? Definitely in the evenings, use it. It does remove a significant amount of blue light. What I will say though, if you are not comfortable using it during the daytime, because I'm not, I don't enjoy looking at emails or spreadsheets, or if I'm in the office, you're not really going to be comfortable with an orange screen because your coworkers will be like, well, that's strange. But more importantly, it's just not the most comfortable experience looking at that during the day. So again, it comes to that, usage point of that solution. If you don't use it throughout the day and you'd like to, then actually a physical filter like an OcuShield or a glasses is a intervention that you can use without changing the color on your screen. But I always advocate software is great. It's free. You can use it quite easily. The only problem that is with families, we find parents want to limit children's blue light exposure, but children are very smart. They know how to turn software off. And parents always buy a product and they say, look, the only way I can protect my children's eyes and sleep is with an optical filter, because they can't turn it off. They can't just take it off, right? Because it's too much effort. But with software, they can. So it's always important to think about. And going into lighting, around us, LED lighting. So LED lighting around us. So I'm sitting, for those that are listening and might be viewing this, I'm sitting surrounded by LED lighting. It's a bit warmer, but it could be better. But lighting around us actually has more blue light than screens itself, right? But the reason why it's not as impactful is because it's not direct. We're not looking at the light source like we are with the screens. And proximity, we're a lot closer to our screens than we are to the light around us. But what I will say is if you're working in a house or an office for 8 to 12 hours and the lighting is a cool white light, that light is also being absorbed by your eyes and your body to tell your body it's the daytime, and the blue light is still there. So in the afternoon as well, we created an OcuLamp, which is a lighting product, and it has 3 settings. It has a cool white light, so 5,000 kelvins, which is kind of a daylight for those that don't understand kelvins, the metric. Then you've got something that's 3,000 kelvins, which is a little bit warmer for the afternoon. So when you've been working already for a few hours and you don't want the eye strain from that harsh bright light, you can use that. And then if you use the lamp in the evenings to read to your children or read in bed, it's a really warm light, which is around 2,500 kelvins, and that reduces the amount of blue light that's been exposed. And actually there's so much lighting around us, so I always advocate you can use software on screens, but what about the lighting around us? So glasses, blue light removing glasses are also very important, or you can fit your house or wherever you are with lighting that is appropriate. For example, there's a Philips Hue light bulb. You plug it in, you can control it with your app, and it syncs to your day-night cycle, and you can have nice warm light, which isn't going to affect your sleep-wake cycles or affect your eyes.
Oh, interesting. So I only thought about the screens at night. We need to block the blue lights as much as possible, but I think I did not realize our body, both our eyes and our bodies absorb the lights and get exposed to it. It can not only impact our nighttime, but possibly also impact our eyes during the daytime. Then I'm curious, from your knowledge, staring at the screen all day long, right? During the daytime, because that's possibly the most time, like myself, working from computer whole day, seeing clients, telehealth. So, will that impact the health of our eyes and our own physical health overall?
Yeah, definitely. So there's research that shows now that cumulative exposure from blue light or to blue light from screens in the eye affects your retina and macula, right? So cumulative exposure over time, what happens is there's something called macular degeneration. So it's actually an eye condition where you lose your central vision loss. And what happens is, imagine you're looking straight forward now and you have a black hole in both eyes right in the middle of what you're looking at. That is what macular degeneration is. And it's a visual impairment or blindness. And it usually happens in the 6th, 7th, or 8th decade of people's lives, so when they're older. But the impacts for that, the mechanisms for that actually start a lot earlier. And children is a great example, because children, the lens in the eye doesn't develop until their teenage years, and the lens in the eye is a natural protection to absorb UV and blue light, right? So that's why children are supposed to wear sunglasses more so than adults, because their eyes are still developing. Same with blue light, but a lot of people don't know that. So actually, the blue light exposure now children have from learning on an iPad or watching YouTube, if you think about the impact that blue light exposure has in a young age, what's going to happen is, I suspect, because screens have only been around for 2, max 3 decades, there's not enough cohort studies to follow the impact. But I think in what we will see in 4 or 5 decades, when the children of this generation grow up, macular degeneration won't start at 60, 70, 80. It will start, at 40 or 50 possibly. So a lot earlier, which is scary, right? Imagine loss of vision at, your prime time age, when you've just started a family and, you want to enjoy your kids, have a great life. So these kinds of things are elements we're looking at, and in vitro studies have shown that blue light is detrimental to our eyes, and it's going to affect the retina and macula. So it is something we should be concerned about. And what I'd say is some quick ways to reduce exposure is, any screens around you, reduce the brightness. It's really easy. That helps. You can also reduce the proximity, so the distance of your screen. I always say, whenever you use a screen, have at arm's length away. That means it's a good distance, right? It's quite hard with a phone screen, because you might look a bit silly if you're holding things far away. But definitely for screens where you're spending a lot of time on working, like laptops and monitors, an arm's length is the minimum you should have it at.
Oh, I like that. Now I look at my screen. Yes, it's an arm away. That's great. But I also noticed, because myself, I wear glasses when I drive and when I'm outside. So if sometime I notice for this distance, I have to enlarge the words on the screen, or else myself very quickly become like this, like really try to squeeze in front of the screen. So I always hear people talking about, if we wear glasses and look at the screen, it's not a good thing. What do you think about that?
If you've been prescribed glasses for working on a screen, then you should use them, because if you have a refractive error and you're not using them, your visual system's working a lot harder to see what's on the screen. So naturally, you're going to have tired eyes, you're going to get headaches, etc. Right? If you have a very small prescription, then maybe there's some benefit not wearing them, because in some instances, so the glasses that you get made at opticians, they're made out of lenses which sometimes, you have back surface lighting and front surface lighting. So you can have lighting around you which is bouncing off the back of the lens into your eye. So it depends what your environment's like. Usually when you're wearing them on screens, it's that glasses should be fine, because they have the anti-reflection coating, they should have a blue light coating, so it's okay. What I think is bad is actually if you have lighting behind you or above you that's going behind the lenses of your glasses and hitting you back in the eye, that's probably more what causes some people discomfort. But definitely if you're wearing them on screens, glasses, they shouldn't not be a problem, because nowadays you've got the appropriate coatings and protection for that.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So sounds like overall we need to be really cautious about the lighting around us, right? Not only the screens, also the home office lighting. And sounds like your company products not only directly sell to the companies to make the screens, you also sell some products that we can buy in the daily household that we can use.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the Oculamp lighting in Oculamp is made for. It's to make sure the lighting around you is healthy lighting for your environment. Especially now we work from home on 1 or 2 days, maybe. We don't, we need to make sure the lighting around us is optimized for our life, and that our lamp allows you to change the intensity, the color temperatures, so you can learn what your body needs for what time of the day.
Oh, wow. So it can be embedded to a smart home.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a new direction of the modern housing. I feel like I do have some smart lights at home. I use a Philips hue, and it's interesting. Not quite figure out how it's gonna understand my circadian rhythm yet, but definitely I have the option to adjust it.
Yeah, as long as you can control and intervene, you have the power. As long as it's not one light setting that you can't change or touch.
Right. So other than lighting, since we talk about blue lights a lot, do you also have like those kind of clear glasses to block blue lights? Because traditionally, it's exactly like what you mentioned. Either the software on computer, on phones, they will turn the screen darker, or I think the traditional blue light blocker is like yellow glasses. I used to sell them on Amazon. So what's your blue light blocker look like?
Yeah, so our blue light blockers are more the clear side. So they have a little bit of a sepia tone. So you still have 95% transparency, but you're still cutting up to 54% of the harmful blue light that affects your sleep. So sleep, blue light at 470 nanometers is what suppresses the melatonin. So that's where we want to cut that blue light. So we've optimized our glasses to do that, but also to make sure you don't look silly wearing orange glasses. So you can wear them wherever you are, in a coffee shop, in the office, at a friend's house, or at home. Because again, compliance is so important.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I think that's people do want to look good. During COVID, maybe not. We don't care about that much. But after COVID, if we start going out, working other places, have interaction with people, and how we look when we wear some glasses do matter.
Yeah, I think so. They do.
Yeah, so do you sell to America since possibly a lot of our audience are in America?
We do, yeah. So we moved to US local fulfillment 2 years ago. So we have a warehouse in Pennsylvania where all US customers, they receive their goods from, and that's where we ship to Best Buy and Verizon as well. So if you wanted the products, that you can get them from us directly, but also Best Buy or Verizon or Urban Outfitters.
Oh, that's great. That's good to know. Yeah, so if any of our audience want to find your products, they can go to different stores or go to your website, I guess.
Yeah, I think if you come, we've got the whole range on ocushield.com, which is OCUSHIELD.com. And if you use Deep Sleep 20, then you'll get 20% off as well to anyone listening.
Oh, thank you. That's great. Yeah. So for our audience who are being listening to our Deep Into Sleep podcast, you can use this coupon code to get some percentage off. Yeah. So get to give this product a try.
Definitely. And we have 100-night trial. So if you use the products and you don't find your sleep isn't better or your eyes aren't feeling fresher, then you can return the products and get your money back. And that's why we're so confident in what we do. We want to make sure the products help change your lives.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So do you have any interesting stories from your customers when they give you feedback? They like this product or how it helped them?
Yeah, so there's one really fascinating thing I learned. So there's something called visual snow. So we've had about 5 customers experience, but what happens is when they're using screens after maybe an hour, what happens is they start seeing black and white light. So have you when you see a TV and it's static and it's just you're not on a channel. So what happens is they see that in real life, and it just keeps happening. It's just there and it doesn't disappear. Now, one customer mentioned it 3 years ago, and she said, I suffer from visual snow. I had no idea I didn't know what it was, but she explained it, wrote a really big email, and she said, since I've been using your products, I've never had to face visual snow again. And I don't have to worry about being outside and some car headlights cause the visual snow, or something happens. I can wear your glasses or your products and use them, and I don't get this problem. So that for me was a really interesting story where I didn't even know there was this kind of problem that was there, but our products were helping customers.
Right. Wow. That also can tell us how modern technology has changed our health, changed our eyes, possibly in many ways we have no idea of. But by
Mm.
using high technology, these kind of products to help protect ourselves as much as possible, we possibly can prevent a lot of those problems from happening.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I said in the beginning. Artificial devices is so new. I'd say two decades, right? They started in 2000. That's when you started seeing some of these new innovations. So, yeah, very early on. It's not, it's for most people listening. It's they've been alive longer than that. So you've got to think about that
Right.
time span.
It's actually very scary. Think about when I was in elementary school, I used the dog system on the
Mm,
computer. Long time ago, there's basically nothing the computer can do, not much. But then up to
mm,
today, right? How many years? Not many years. So we have no idea how this technology, how this screen be really impact the lifespan. Someone, if they
mm.
start using from younger age up to what age they're going to be, what kind of impact, we are still finding it out, which is kind of scary.
It is scary, it is. And I think, look, well, I'm not here to scare anyone. It's not about making people feel frightened. It's just you can do these small changes in your life, which will help you right now. And then also your future self will also thank you, that you made these small different changes, which allow you to keep living life like you are now, but, a little bit healthier.
Great. Yeah, that's wonderful. Any final wisdom you want to share to all our listeners who are interested in this topic?
Yeah, because of my eye perspective, I always say, if you can get your eyes tested every 2 years, they're very important. Even if you don't see something different, optometrists can pick up tumors, they can pick up melanomas, they can pick up loads of scary stuff in the eyes, diabetes, glaucoma. So yeah, have an eye exam every 2 years and make sure that's in your calendar.
Oh, that's good to know. I feel like I should see my doctor more often. Thank you so much, Dhruvin, for introduce us to your wonderful products, all this knowledge about blue light, our health and sleep. I learned a lot. Hopefully our audience learned a lot too. And thank you for the coupon code.
No problem, Yishan, and thank you so much for having me on your podcast. If anyone has any questions, or if they want to find me, they can find me on Instagram or LinkedIn. My name, just type in Dhruvin Patel, which is DHRUVIN PATEL, and you should be able to find me. And I'm trying to put a lot more content out there now about eye health and blue light. So if anyone interested in the topic, yeah, find me, follow me, and yeah, happy to answer any questions.
Great, great. Yes, if I have any audience have questions submitted, I will let you know too. And all your information will be put on the show note as well. So when people listening, they will be able to find your information. Thank you again.
Fantastic. No, thank you.